Good afternoon and welcome to the Governance Room, where questions matter, evidence counts, citizens come first, and the record stands. Today, in this internal test edition, we examine a troubling governance question arising from a State House statement on the alleged fictitious Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, also described as a Presidential Economic Advisory Council. According to the statement issued by the presidency, a man identified as Adeyemi Adeniyi Matthew allegedly paraded himself as Director General of a non-existent presidential agency, allegedly used forged documents, held engagements with Nigerians and foreigners, sought diplomatic support for visas, and allegedly opened multiple bank accounts connected to fictitious entities. But beyond the individual allegation, the deeper question is institutional. How does a purported agency get office access, diplomatic-facing engagement, bank accounts, possible budget visibility, and meetings with high-level actors before the system stops it? Today, we're not trying to talk about this as just allegation. The court will do that. We're asking governance questions. Who verified? Who failed? Who acted? Who looked away? And what must change? So welcome to Governance Room, Didi.
Yes.
This is really interesting because as journalists, I think we should always dissect things like this. So the Chief of Staff gave the part of the story. The presidency issued a statement, etc. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs flagged an alleged maybe incidents of trying to get staff members' visa, etc. What do you make of this? Some people said that the presidency is actually insulting Nigerians' intelligence in a very bad way. So as a journalist who've done research, what do you make of it?
I wouldn't want to start this show with a laughter, but it's laughable because, like you said, most Nigerians are feeling, these people are thinking we are not what they think we are. Because we can see through the lines, we can see through the veils, we can see through the curtains that this is what it is, and you guys are putting it in our face that I won't use the word we're stupid, but you guys are making us feel that way. Because how would you explain a case whereby there is an office in the secretariat and the office has an indication?
That's really interesting. Allegedly. So
allegedly, we saw there was a place that it was highlighted in the budgets whereby they were allocated like some amount of money, and this person you guys are saying is an imposter. You guys called him? They called him a fraudster. Has met with ministers, has met with ambassadors, held summits, and
EFCC chairman.
Exactly, and you're telling us that it's all fake. Come on, give Nigeria some credit.
Oh, they should give us some break. Anyways, as a Nigerian, I felt insulted by seeing that. But of course, we need to probe further. So from the document making rounds that there was budgetary allocation, I do not want to laugh as well because this is a serious business and we shouldn't laugh about it. But it's just laughable. So it says there was over R1 billion allocation. There was CBN accounts and there were multiple other accounts. Let's go to the audience because this is interesting. I would start with God's power. What do you make of this thing? I mean, there was so many information out there, overload. So what do you make of it?
Well, in my opinion, it's disheartening. I mean, in our nation, we do have processes for all of this. So I don't think they would want to come out and tell us that before this agency was established, the agency didn't pass through the process of getting approval.
You know, the presidency said the agency doesn't exist.
Oh.
So yes, there is a structured way to do this, but the presidency actually said it doesn't exist. It's not aware of it.
So I think the question would be, so how did they now get allocation if the presidency is insisting that it never existed? How did they get access to, or how did the general allegedly get access to having meetings, international meetings, representing the nation, carrying the nation's name, the being a face for the nation in meetings, international meetings as this. It's quite worrisome and it's quite disheartening to see.
Of course it is. I think, let me come back to DD first. You've heard what God's Power said. Of course, there are like tons of questions I want answers for as a person. Tell me, what do you want answered precisely on this case?
The only thing I feel our Nigerian government should always put in mind is accountability. Because how can you be a government if you are not accountable, if you are not transparent to your people? So when things get to this extent, and I don't know how to frame it, but I do not understand the kind of information or the kind of rule of law they are actually showing Nigerians and the younger generation.
Yeah, so I think we look at it from the perspective of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which stipulates the way to create an agency, the transparency process. But of course, I think since return to democracy in 1999, there's been issues around the way we do things, lack of consistency, etc. So let me go back to the audience. So there is a statement from the Chief of Staff dated 17th October 2025, asking the DSS and police to investigate alleged fraudsters and imposters using forged appointment letters. Let's talk about it, Wale. What do you think about this whole, people are calling it staged, it's just trying to save the face and all of that. What do you make of that?
Well, for me, there are certain things that we must consider. So far, so good. The evidences that has been examined are too glaring to be pushed aside. Recently, I even discovered that the said agency has a website.
Wow.
And there's something that I want to raise is a question of our culture when it comes to due diligence assassination. If you want to register an account in the normal bank, we're not even talking about like an Apex, our Apex bank.
CBN.
Yes. So as a business person, there are certain documents that
You need to provide.
you need to provide. Now we are now talking about the Apex Bank providing accounts for.
To a fictitious agency.
Yes. So is that possible? So
It doesn't add up.
to pull that off, just one person cannot do that. He must have certain
A ring.
certain backups that are pulling the strings for him. Just like you said earlier that a certain amount of money was budgeted for this person.
Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly, and that's not small money. So lastly, after all this has been said, who takes responsibility? And that's a huge question.
Yes, it is. Let's go back to Mariam from your left side, or what do you call it? I don't know. I think I'm confused. You've mentioned something very key. Small businesses. As a business owner, I knew the rigorous process I went through to open bank accounts. Due diligence, CAC confirmation, lawyer's confirmation, all of that. And it took over a month trying to set up a bank account for a regular commercial bank. Talk more of a CBN, or that's really, there are lots of questions there. So again, let's go to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, also putting out a statement that reportedly wrote on 15th October seeking clarification after an alleged meeting with ambassadors at World Scouting. World Scouting is in Asokoro and is known for top-notch, top-level officials using this space. Do you think the ministry did their due diligence enough before going to the federal government? Is there something they were supposed to do before going to federal government? I mean, due diligence to say, oh, this place, where is the office, staff members, IDs, etc.
How did they get in there? I feel as Nigerians, we're tired. We're tired of the roller coaster ride. We're tired of having to wake up each morning to the headlines saying something new happened. So if the federal government are saying this particular person is a fraud, how did he get into high profile meetings that are supposed to be guarded? Because I feel these meetings, you need a form of identification to go in there, and you need a form of identification also to know where the meeting is being held. So I feel all I have to say is our law enforcement agency, are they doing
enough? So let's go to that with you since you brought that up. We can't talk about this whole
yes
fictitious thing without bringing the police. So the police allegedly found that the agency was fictitious, that documents were forged, and that Adeyemi falsely sought a note verbal from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for U.S. visa facilitation. Does that make any sense?
It doesn't add up. There are loopholes. We're missing something. At least if we should have this, we should have the full information too. So we know what we are digesting. We should know what we are accepting and what we are not accepting. As Nigerians, I feel the government owes us that.
They need to give us explanation. Convincing one. Hajara, to you. So the statement also says from the presidency, Adeyemi allegedly operated 34 bank accounts, including CBN one. To you, what sensibilities does that say to you as a person? What sensibilities does it speak to you as a person?
Well, absolutely no sense. Absolutely, because at first, you're supposed to investigate. Not one, not two, not three, up to 30. And nothing is said about it.
34.
34.
And there was even a report that said, the statement also says CBN account was allegedly opened by misleading the office of the Accountant General of the
That is to
Federation.
tell you that these people are so careless. They don't take their job seriously. Because if they do, things like this should not even come in place at
Do you
all.
mean take job seriously? Accountant General, the letter to open the bank account cannot go straight to the Accountant General. So it means there's a system problem. Because the letter goes to secretariats where you drop letters, as simple as CAC. When you're taking letters to CAC, even if you know somebody inside, you're not allowed to go in. It's dropped at the gate. The gates take it to the secretariat for letters, and it is processed across before it gets, if it is the RG's letter, to get to the RG. So I'm trying to make meaning of the way that letter moved from the clerk up to the Accountant General of the Federation, AGF.
How can they be so careless? Is the question.
So is it carelessness or something else?
Carelessness or cover up.
Yes, that's the question. Do you think it's carelessness or cover up? Let's come back to Didi. Personally, what do you make of it?
Personally, I feel it's a cover up because all the evidences are glaring. We know this is a structure. It's been put in place. Someone goes to this office every day. Someone operates this account every day and every time. And for 34 accounts, what sort of money are you putting in 34 different accounts just for one agency? I don't know what you...
That poses a lot of questions, right?
So I just feel it's cover up.
It is. It looks like it. It looks like it's a cover up, but that means we need to probe further as well. Let's go to Noella. Noella, the police reportedly filed an 8-count charge at the Federal High Court in Abuja on 27 November 2025, with the matter due in court on 27 July this year. December, July. What do you think? The duration for something this sensitive?
I feel it's very long because the governments are just so funny. Sorry to use the word funny, because that's how they have made us look so less of ourselves in the country, that they feel they can just bring up any kind of thing and just
Lies.
any kind of lies and just toy us with it, and then not minding if we understand it or not, because they don't care. They feel they have the power to do whatever they want to do. So it's just so funny how things...
I agree as a person, because this is speaking to my sensibility. Maybe I'm not able to think right. I don't know if you feel the same, but the public interest question should even be, is not only whether one man allegedly forged documents. That's just one part of the story. The bigger question is whether Nigeria's institutional verification system are strong enough to stop fake authority before it begins to operate. Do you think we've got a strong system? Let's go back to Wale. Strong system.
If we were to learn anything, it's just to remind us of how we are weak in our institutions, and this
Is
whole
it weaker
situation-
institutions or weaker implementation?
weaker institutions in the first place, because if our institutions are well guarded and processed, this whole issue would have died from the very inception. So whether the crime is well organized
Or not?
or not, if the institutions are right, none of this.
Hajara,
is
you've
going
got
to
something to say? Not really. Okay, Wale,
So-
are you done?
Yeah. So
Okay,
that would
Gus
be
Power,
it for me.
let's get your take.
Okay, so I personally, I think it's just like Wale said, it comes from the institution itself not being well organized and well put together. Because I feel these things should be detected from
Early
the
on.
onset. Yes. So if things are working as they should, and in a nation like Nigeria, things should be working properly. We have gotten to that stage where things should be working properly as a
But they're
nation.
not.
I mean, we are intelligent people. We have the resources. We have everything to make things work as they are supposed to be. But I think corruption has eaten deep into
Into the
nation.
fabric of our
So
nation.
institutions and things that are supposed to work no longer work because of corruption. Not because we can't make them work, just because of corruption.
Thank you. I think you've got something to say. Yes,
I just
Didi.
wanted to add to something she said, and he made mention of corruption, while she made mention of the time frame and time limit of passing the judgment. Now,
Of even hearing the case.
Exactly, of hearing the case. God bless you. So now, are we going to see our judicial system do the right thing? Are they actually going to work this time around? Or they're going to sweep it
Okay.
under the carpet?
It seems you want to talk, Mariam, and then pass to Wali when you're done.
I want to add something. Is he really wrong? Or is the Nigerian government trying to cover up something here? Because if you look at the processes and all of the details being given, should I say it's not possible for someone to just decide to own something this huge and to go through all those massive paperwork without it being actually truthful? So as Nigerians, we need to ask the government, is this another scheme for money laundering, or are they trying to cover up something? We need answers, honestly.
We
really
definitely do need answers. Wale?
Yeah, so to cap everything up, I'm going to like to address the issue of the judiciary, and I'm going to be making a bold prediction based on precedents. In this situation, this is what I feel is going to happen in the issue of the court case. We are going to be seeing a lot of adjournment. There's a legal term that says justice delayed is justice
Denied.
and we've seen it over time, and it seems to be like a potent tactics that they apply whenever they need to wear us out from this case. So we're looking at a potential case that will be dragged for months, and at the end of the day we'll never get to the bottom of the whole situation. So that is all.
So for me, I believe that government agencies or government identity must be something that there is a verifiable loop of things that you would do. Every legitimate federal agency, council, committee, presidential appointment, or diplomatic facing office should be traceable through official gazette. One issue in Nigeria is data. We don't have a central data, and that's what makes things easy. That's why there are duplicates of agencies. You've got BVN. You've got identification number, NIN, and you will go somewhere and people still be asking you for, you're trying to do something, oh, we need your NIN, we need your BVN. I think there should be one central data system where when you have it, that's all. I know social insurance numbers abroad and other identity numbers that are just one, not multiple, because that's really convincing. Why did they say we should do NIN if NIN cannot trace everybody in the country? So there is need for central data bank for Nigeria. One thing is glaring in Nigeria, there is no central data bank, and we need to really work on that. When there is one central data bank, I believe that a lot of issues around forgery, around fictitious activities would be minimal. It might not be taken away completely, but it will be minimal. So let's take a quick break. When we return, the conversation continues.
Role. not politics for noise.
And welcome back. If you're just joining us, it's still Governance Room and it's a family affairs. Not really family in the sense of family, but I mean, Nigeria should be a family affairs because we're all Nigerians, right? And let's go back to this conversation, Didi. There are a lot of questions on my mind. I think I didn't sleep well yesterday. I was just like, oh, okay, wait. All of these things, do they make sense to a normal thinking person? And so let's digress a little bit into the data that we've got. In this case, evidence of institutional failure is glaring, or evidence that the system eventually worked if we're going to address that. And what's more important to me as a person is to say, if there are claims of fictitious agency, fictitious agency, why did they appear in the budget, national budget?
There's something they call budget padding, but if it was padded, anyways.
I think budget padding should not even be in the picture. Why did they make it to the budget? Because for any agency's allocation to make it to the budget, there is a streamlined system. There will be internal defense in the agency. There will be external people that come to the agency, and the agency needs to go to the ministry that they're under and then go to the National Assembly.
Okay, assembly, yeah.
But, excuse me, what do you make of it? It's mind-boggling. I think we're all confused.
We're all confused in this case, but then again, it would definitely have to do with having a syndicate, like you just mentioned. It has to follow due process from one step to the other, get approved and have disbursement and all that. So it is definitely has to be a syndicate working together.
Syndicate. Hajara, I want to hear from you. This thing came to the open. The case has been on for months, but it came to the open, and there are allegations that the only evidence in this case as a person is debt. So what do you make of it? Is there a game? Is there something we don't know?
Definitely. I feel like there's a fallout somewhere that the person that is helping push all of this must have been, having a fallout with this particular person that is claiming the agency. And if you look back, every system in Nigeria have a procedure. You cannot just go and then set up a place and claim it's an agency. It doesn't work that way.
And the agency's office is in Federal Secretariat.
Federal Secretariat. Who gave the approval for him to stay there?
I really want to know as a Nigerian. Maybe I can get access to the Federal Secretary. I need an office in the Secretariat.
If
So
anybody can
I think
get
we need
access
to
to that
investigate.
place, then anybody can go there. But obviously you can't. So definitely someone somewhere is pushing this whole thing. So who is that person? And how far has the person gone? Because this is just what we are seeing. There are definitely things that are not in the open yet.
So let's ask simple questions. Yes, no. What do you make of it? Simply, in your opinion, and anyone can answer. So just go ahead if you want to answer with the microphone. What documentations do you think is required before a federal entity can have a budget in the allocation? Documents. I think let's look at it in a bigger picture or bigger perspective. For me personally, if you're going to register, maybe for budget allocation in an agency, it means you need to write a proposal, right? When you write a proposal, you take it through the process, because in your agency, there are departments as well, right? And all departments need to present their budget. So when the first initiation process is for you to present your budget as department, then there is a compilation that goes to the DG of the agency, and the DG actually do due diligence to see, okay, do this department need this? Were there inflated figures and all of that? Do due diligence. And then after a consolidated document, it goes to the ministry, right? From the ministry, if everything been equal, it goes, I think it's supposed to go to the presidency because the presidency actually compiled the whole budget thing. And then from presidency, it goes to the National Assembly. So who is fooling who in this case? It's a question that we need to ask. So let's go to another simple question that I think we should be able to make meanings of as people. I think I'm a journalist first before being a Nigerian. Which office do you think should verify agency legitimacy before accounts opening? Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, CBN, Budget Office, SGF, or Supervising Ministry?
I think the Office of the Accountant General and the CBN should be the ones handling that because, okay, so for cases where you want to go open a business, like a small business, there are so many procedures, one of which you have to go to the central bank to do certain things. So I feel like
for business, I don't think you need to go to central bank. You register with the CAC.
with the
So
CAC.
it's when you're going to do huge projects that involves billions that you might probably need to do some due diligence in the CBN. I'm not sure that's correct, but we need to find out. Yes, please.
Okay. So with these agencies, they are tasked with doing a lot of things, and they get their fundings from the Nigerian budget, which is the nation's money. So I believe the Accountant General and the CBN should be
Any
the ones.
opposing opinion?
I'm going to add to what he said, and the bulk of this falls on the shoulders and the office of the Accountant General of the Federation.
Okay.
If you are going to look at your record, even if it's a new administration, for example, the money allocated for that particular agency, was there money budgeted for it the previous year? That's a solid question.
Okay, now, so let's make this quickly. We end the show. When I said which agents, who should be saddled with the responsibility of doing due diligence in verifying the agency, I think the primary point of call should be the supervising ministry first. Because the agencies are under ministries. So the supervising ministry must do their due diligence before it goes to, it doesn't even go to the Accountant General of the Federation because it's budgetary allocation. So when you do budgetary allocation, excuse me, thank you, mostly after ministry, it goes back to the presidency because there is now going to be a big document for budgets for the whole nation. So when it comes to that budgetary allocation, I think it's the bulk of the work should start with the ministry. From the ministry, it goes to the presidency. From the presidency, it goes to the, I think from the presidency, it now goes to the Office of the Accountant General for allocation. I'm not sure, but we need to verify that and do a piece around that. So that should be the normal thing. But again, they said our collective intelligence are being abused, because it feels like maybe there are no right-thinking people in Nigeria again. Now, what damage do you think this whole thing can do to us as a nation? Because this is on the internet. We're now citizens of a global village, and somebody in Europe will see this and say, oh my God. Of course, when I'm traveling every time as a Nigerian, I'm always sad because there is extra care in dealing with us as a people. When you go outside Nigeria's border, the first thing is that you're Nigerian. You're not from the southwest or the north central or anywhere. You're Nigerian. So you are put in the same basket. So what damage do you think this does to us as a nation?
We have been seeing videos of Nigerians harassed because there's a central identity we all carry as the country who is a failure. So
Why?
yes, and most of the people on the internet, foreigners, see us as there's this image as fraudsters, as I read comment sections a lot in posts, and you see
It's really disheartening.
you'll see something like Boko Haram country.
Yes. I'll tell you on a
terrorists.
personal experience. One day on the streets of London, in central London, I was going to post something alongside a friend. And from walking, we noticed a man looking like Sudanese, African, but the ones looking Arab-like. And the man was paying close attention to the two of us walking. And funnily, we entered the same postal office. And we're on the queue. It's one person that is posting. So I asked the person we're together that, please stay on the queue. I will stay to fill some things. And while staying at the back, the man approached me. Assalamu alaikum. I said, wa alaikum salam. Good morning, good afternoon, good afternoon. No, it wasn't good afternoon first. It was a language the guy spoke first before the English, and started speaking one funny language I don't know. I said, excuse me, I don't understand that language. Actually, I speak English. He said, okay, you speak English. Are you Sudanese? I said, no. Are you Somali? I said, no, I'm not. Which part of the African country are you from? I said, I'm Nigeria. And I was like, yes, sir. I'm from, don't go. Chibok.
Exactly. This is
Security, what? Your people steal your people. I'm like, sir, no. Chibok is long time ago. This was in 2022. Chibok is long time ago. Yes, it's an image because people like Beyonce actually amplified. I think there was Michelle Obama and all that. So when you go abroad, whether you like it or not, you've got a dent as a Nigerian. So
and also economically, it's also a very terrible image. So it's like Nigeria keeps falling backward instead of developing as it should.
This one thing as regards that, and I'll just quickly add something as regards the economy. Because if the government, who are supposed to make or give foreign investors confidence in the country, and they come out with something like this, obviously
there is a big problem. So I'm afraid due to time, we need to call it a wrap. So I need your final thoughts. Let's start with Didi.
The final thought on this whole saga is we need accountability from our governments. We need transparency and always give us a good image out there.
Next, Noella.
Okay, from today's discussion, I feel that our government needs to sit up. And then even if they don't sit up, we as citizens, we have the right to make them know that yes, what they are doing is not fair. And we need to correct that. We need to air our voices out there so that they'll know that yes, we know what we are doing. We are educated people and we have the ability to do a lot of things instead of just letting the government tarnish our image badly.
Thank you. Yes, Hajara.
So I will wrap with a question instead of comment. Who should we hold accountable? Who should we hold responsible? Because as Nigerians, at this point, we are tired of these funny shenanigans.
Who should we answer the question briefly? Who should we hold accountable?
The federal government.
Okay. There are different government at different levels, tiers of government. Let's go to God's power.
On my final notes, this situation shatters an already damaged image we have as a nation. For me, I just hope that the issue doesn't get pushed under the rug, because we've seen it several locations where issues like this
Get shared under the rug. Yeah, Wale.
See that there should be consequences for wherever purposes. We copy a lot from westernized practice, but we welcome how we have operations.
So we should learn, take a lead from that. Mariam.
My final note will be for the lawmakers, they should do their part serious. I'm anything else that will matter.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on this very important topic that affects us as a nation, the fabric of our being. etc. And this is the end of the internal test edition for Governance Room. This case is now before the courts, and the courts must determine guilt, innocence, and legal responsibility. But governance does not wait for scandal to become tradition. Whether this matter ends in conviction, acquittal, or further revelations, the institutional questions remain urgent. Can citizens verify government agencies easily? Can embassies confirm official status quickly? Can bank accounts be opened for public sector entities without airtight legal checks? Can budget lines be created without confirming that an agency legally exists? And can first authority travel through the system long enough to meet officials, diplomats, and the public? These are not small questions. They go to the heart of public trust, and public trust is very key at this moment in our national life. In the governance room, we will keep asking who signed, who verified, who benefited, who failed, and what must change. The questions matter, evidence matters, citizens matter, the record matters, and this is it. Bye for now.